Hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experiences. In this conversation, I would like to talk with you about your reality matrix. You know, this is a watch, this is a cell phone, and this idea that we have of naming things and having those names be what they are named. Having our reality the way that we've been taught to interpret our reality. This can be really fragile. It doesn't take very much to throw the body out of balance. I mean, think of the body. When you get some acne or you get some sort of a blockage of a skin pore and it develops an infection, and you start feeling the pressure on the skin to release this little piece of infection, and what it is, it's the fluid that is building up within the body, that it's fluid hydraulics that push this out of the body. Okay, but the slightest imbalance in the body will cause pain to occur. The slightest thing. I mean, think of your eyes, and the smallest little thing in your eye causes pain, causes irritation, causes the eyes to water. Once again, fluid hydraulics are used to push that out of the body. Well, the same thing with your reality matrix. A very, very, very little push in the direction of invalidating your reality matrix can push a person right into the mental psych ward. And Kundalini gives you much more of a push than you might realize. And you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware that just like a little infection, causes things to be pushed out, Kundalini will cause an irritation that will cause you to be pushed out of the infection of your accepted reality matrix. Okay? It's important to understand this. And so, one of these irritations, one of these experiences that a person can have that pushes you out of your accepted reality matrix, for most people, is the entity experience. Having the entity just show up, and there it is, and what the heck are you? And it's not answering your questions. Nobody else can see it, nobody else can hear it. It's not there for everybody. It's there for you, though. And it's talking to you. And the words are making sense, even though you may not agree with the words. It's pushing you right out of your comfortable reality. And this is what Kundalini will do. It will expand you beyond the narrow parameters that you have as a normal walking, talking human being. It will expand those parameters really far, to the point where you're in your familiar environment, but you're not at the same time. Okay? You're in your familiar environment, but you're not. Because all of a sudden there's other consciousness in your familiar environment where before there was nothing. You could look at the watch and you would just see a watch instead of a face talking to you from the face of the watch. I'm just making that up, but you, it's kind of a cool thought. It's like, what time is it? And have the face answer, it's 4:04 in the afternoon. So you have to be able to accept these changes as they come. Okay, and this is not always the easiest thing to do. And a lot of the times, you're by yourself with this. Nobody's there to share it with you. You can't tell your spouse, yeah, honey, a face came onto my watch face and was talking to me, telling me what time it was. And I could see its mouth moving. It had teeth and a tongue and eyes and nose, ears, everything. And I could hear it. And have you ever had that happen? Your spouse is kind of, oh, I don't know, honey. Let's let's go over to the medical outfit over here. Let's check that out. uh, so it's really important for you to have a level of elasticity now to your reality um, assumptions. Once you've had Kundalini a while, you realize that reality is far bigger than what you have been raised to understand and to experience. It is a huge thing. It is a grand scale of life and consciousness and creation and it's beautiful and terrible all at the same time. And so understand this as you come into the Kundalini. When you see your little colored orbs going this way and then out, when you see the great eye looking at you, the eye of Horus, or when you see these things, it's okay. You don't need to hide from them. You really can't hide from them. And you just accept them for as they are. And if you see an entity, in whatever way it shows itself to you, ignore it. Don't talk to it. Don't communicate to it. Don't give it any attention whatsoever. Okay? If it's a good thing, then it won't show up in a way that will frighten you. If it's not a good thing, then of course it's going to go for the fear. Once you see enough of these things, you kind of get bored, is a word. Just like, oh, geez, here's another one. So you just need to understand that and to allow yourself the opportunity for reality matrix expansion. It's very, very important that you do this. Keep yourself out of the psych ward. All they're going to do in the psych ward is just like put you in a safe place, rubber room, where you can't like hurt yourself, and they'll give you drugs, and they'll give you a little bib so that you can drool on yourself while you have the drugs, and so you just need to you need to allow your reality to expand without resisting it. Okay, and once again, I'm being given right now from my Kundalini. Once again, do not pay attention to any of the entities, any of them. I don't care if they're dressed up as the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus or an elf or whatever it is. Don't give them your attention. The only thing you give your attention to is your grace, is the Kundalini, God. And if you need something to worship, which I think is a good practice, then worship the word Kundalini, because it has a very strong level of meaning that even the Sanskrit, the people that speak Sanskrit of the Indian Peninsula, they don't really know. I mean, they have their records and everything, but they don't understand the power of the word. They say, oh, it means that which is coiled within. Well, it means a lot more than that. It's the active consciousness of divine principle that is communicating with you. And so when you say, I give myself to you, my Kundalini, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and it represents a level of surrender. And from that level of surrender, you can find balance and you can find nurturing. Okay? You won't find that in the psych ward. When you see people talking on the street to the air, people standing on a corner talking to the air, or doing this, those people have entities. Entities are attacking them because they've been doing drugs, or they're, alcoholism. There are many reasons for people to get constantly attacked by entities. But Kundalini is one of those reasons too. And if you go straight into fear because you're not in agreement with the way reality is exposing itself to you, you can become one of these people that are constantly trying to keep the entities off of themselves. Well, I don't want you to do that. No, no. I don't want you to, I want you to accept the expansion that Kundalini does to your reality matrix. Accept it. It's not happening to you accidentally. You are ready for this to occur. You just need to trust your own grace. This is your own grace, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't something I'm putting into you. And if you're seeing this video and you're feeling Kundalini sparking too, it's because your Kundalini is responding to the truth that I'm saying, that my Kundalini is giving to your Kundalini. It's a much bigger aquarium than we're raised to understand. Okay. And you want to get away from these presumptions of knowledge about the astral plane. Somebody just asked me a question. What is the role of the language in the astral plane? It's like, please. The assumption that there is a language in the astral plane the way we speak of a language down here, no. You have to understand that we're programmed from a very early age into a very limited understanding of what reality is. It's very limited. So we don't really know, but we have people that want to pretend that they know. It's just like, well, my angels came to me and said this, and well, my spirit guide came to me and said that, and well, the entities that I channel are telling me this, and because they're entities, they must know, and this is just wrong. You don't want to believe these people. And this is where your own personal discernment comes into play. I've listened to channelers. I know what they're doing. Let me see if I can do my channeling. Just like... Hello, I am 44,000 years old. Hi. See the beard? It's kind of funny, but maybe it's just to me. You don't want to listen to these people. They do not have truth. They have more egotism than they have truth. Okay. So these are people that are opening themselves to being possessed by entities. Okay. Transmediumship, spiritism, all of these areas, they are mistakes. They are mistakes that are there for you to make if your egotism is allowing you to make them. Grace isn't going to step in and say, oh, no, you don't want to make that mistake. I mean, it will give you a teaching like, say, I'm giving you to say, don't make that mistake. But if your ego wants to make that mistake, Grace isn't going to step in and say, oh, no, don't get possessed. It will allow you to get possessed. And it will allow you to live out your whole life within that possession, within a cage within yourself, not being able to, having thoughts, but not being able to control what you say, what you do, how you think, how you feel. You've given up your body to the consciousness of something else that really shouldn't have it. That's channeling, mediumship. So there's a lot. There's a lot to be aware of inside of this expanded matrix of reality. And there are things that you should pay attention to, and there are things that you shouldn't pay attention to, and entities you should not pay attention to. Okay? Have I made it clear enough? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for watching. May you be blessed your entire day or night, whichever it may be.